I'm going to show you how you can make sure the next 5 people you actually speak with, you end up signing as clients using the exact same framework that I personally use. Like, my name is Shan, and over the past 9 years, I've built my agency Genflow to deliver $100 million in revenue, mainly because when it comes to sales, I pretty much use a whole different approach than most people. And that's exactly what we're going to be covering in this video. So look, just to set some context, I'm going to be focusing on essentially the second part of like a sales funnel, not generating leads and trying to get those people to respond to you. Once you do have a call booked, once you do have someone that you're physically meeting, what should your exact steps be from there to them signing as a client for you? With that being said, let's jump straight into it. And look, to do that, I've got a bunch of things here that I'm going to sit and walk you through. So it should be a pretty detailed video for you to get good at sales. So with that being said, let's jump straight into it. So if you're an agency and want to close more deals and feel like you're hard selling, this is for you. This guide walks you through the exact framework used to sign 100 plus clients and essentially what I do today at my company, which I still run. I'm the CEO of. It's what I do. Look, at any point you're like, who's this guy? I don't know who you are. Click the link down below. You'll see genflow.com. You can go see who we are, the brands that we work with and the clients that we work with. And you will recognize a lot of them because they're some of the biggest brands in the world and the biggest creators, entrepreneurs in the world. So for me, sales calls are not about persuasion. It's not like bringing out the emotion. It's not trying to delve into the deepest problem someone's having so you can get them to commit. It's not trying to trick them into it. It's not some sales objections and blah, blah, blah. Contrary to what you see on Instagram and what people will tell you and even sales books, that kind of stuff is great if you're trying to sell a one-time price, right? You need someone to convert in that moment. So you're going to do everything possible so they give their money to you. When it comes to selling as an agency, you're selling a service. You cannot sell them something because for the next 6 months, next 12 months, next 3 years, you're going to speak to that person. They're still going to be there. It's not a one-night stand. It is essentially a long-term relationship. So it's very different in the way you sell versus the sales books, etc., because they're all focused on either people that have sold a lot of enterprise like software, so they'll be telling you how to sell software, or it's a guy who sold a lot of courses, sold programs, and they'll be telling you how to make the sale. Because it's all about make the sale, get the money. Very different mindset to I need to sell a service to someone and actually they'll be a happy client for a long period of time. And my context is in that. That is what I'm focused on, because this video is for people that are trying to sign clients, not sell something and they become customers and the money's already in your bank. Now they can only complain. You're going to push the terms and conditions on them. You're going to say, hey, look, there's nothing wrong with what I did. And then you're hoping that the dispute doesn't come from Stripe and whatever, right? We're focusing on agency, clients, and how to do that. So anyway, let's get some basic things out the way. Look, the truth is it all starts from even how you show up on that first call. And you have to make sure like some basics are in place, which means your background is clean and professional. Like you cannot be like face here, sitting on a sofa, etc. The amount of people that happens to, you cannot be. I hate the fake backgrounds. It'd be like beach background. Every time you move, you're like blurry. It's like, where are you? Why are you not in a place where it can just be a normal place? Because everything that someone's looking at is, can I work with this person? If you're sitting in a cafe, that's poor. If you're sitting in a random place, that's poor. You should be in a place where you sit and work, and you should try to, just like this. This is my office. I should try to have a presentable office at home because it's imperative to the success of your business, because it's how people see you, perceive you, and the calls that you're going to do with them. If you're unorganized, even on the first call, you're leaving a bad impression. Clients decide whether or not they want to work with you based on how you show up. And there is so much truth in that. It's the same as, if you want to impress someone in real life, they're going to be looking at how are you dressed? How do you speak? Are you clean? Do you smell? Like every single thing someone's judging you in real life. It's the same in a virtual meeting. The way your screen looks, the way you are, the way you present, the way you set up is so important. And you should actually be consciously thinking about that. So other things, you must join the call early. It cannot be the amount of times I've sat on the call and then the guy joins like, mate, you are pitching me. You need my money. What are you doing? Get the priorities straight. That cannot be the case. The camera has to be eye level, which I mentioned. It cannot be here. What you can't do is this. This is what I hate. People do calls like this. But it's like, why aren't you looking at the camera? Why is the camera here and your screen there and you haven't realized that you have to be looking at the people in their eyes? So that's very important, right? So make sure you're looking to the camera. Headphones, right? You have to use headphones. People that don't use headphones, you can tell, like you can hear background noise in the house, whatever. Again, very simple things. You should be using headphones. Always using headphones. It sounds crisp, sounds better, etc. And the most important thing of all, you have to have a presentation ready that you're going to showcase in that call. The good agencies I speak with do this. The bad agencies I speak with don't do this. There's nothing. They're just a chit chat. You're just having a little chit chat. It's a what do they call it? Discovery call, right? It's a discovery call. I'm just here to see if it's the right fit, and then maybe we'll do something. It's like, no, you have to be ready to present. I mean, we'll get into all of that a little bit later. But anyway, basic things. Let's get them out the way. So what is my framework? How have I managed to sign so many amazing clients and deliver so much revenue? It's ultimately a 2-call close framework. Call 1 is going to be the consulting call. Call 2 is the win the client call. It's split for good reason, and we're going to break that down. Number 1, we're building rapport, identifying the problems, and demonstrating insight without selling. So ultimately, it's you are consulting for free. Yes, I said it. You have to give it away for free. It's not a sales call. You got to consult in that call 1. Call number 2 is then when you want to go through an actual plan based on call number 1, which we'll come back to. And then we're going to go ahead and try to close that person. And very importantly, between the 2 calls, you want to follow up with undeniable value that proves you're the right partner. And this is the trick that I shouldn't say out loud. So basically, when you're on that first call, in that middle, you've got to be sending them amazing shit. You've got to be talking to them. You try to get their number, and I would do it on WhatsApp, iMessage, if not via email. You've got to be basically impressing that person in that time frame. And it's the same after call 2. If I was to say signed contract, payment done, the period, same thing again. You've got to impress them. It's like you went on a date with somebody, and now you want to go on another date. You're not just going to hope to turn up on the next date. You're going to be messaging them throughout that so they make sure you have a second date with that person. It's so important to do it like that, and that's essentially where people get it wrong today. Before I get into the 2 calls themselves and what to physically do on those calls, let's talk a little bit more about preparation, because that is the key to it all. So if you are about to jump on a call with somebody, you need to do a bit of a deep dive into their business as much as possible. And I'm going to walk you through that right now. The thing is that it's quite important that even if a call's been booked cold from your website, or it's someone in your DMs, or it's someone that you've had back and forth emails with, or it was an ad that booked a call, it was a referral, however it's come in, you got to process it in this way. Ultimately, go and do some research. Quickly check, do they have social media platforms? What are they doing on those platforms? Have they been on any podcasts or anything? Is there any content? What's their story? What's their this? Then you want to go ahead and try to figure out, like, are they a good business or are they a bad business? Transparently, right? You want to go see, like, what stage are they? Are they early? Are they growing? Is there any, go on Social Blade, check the followers, check the engagement across their stuff. Like, are they growing, right? And on everything, there's tools now to see stuff. You can use SimilarWeb to go and look at, website traffic. You can on Amazon use different softwares to see people's sales. Whatever it is, you can find a way to find some data, because that's going to change like your approach, right? You need to know who are you about to meet, because ultimately, if it's a big company. So I pitched someone last night, massive organization. I knew on the call I have 2 low-level people. So I know what I'm going in with. It's going to be, I need to say things in a way so she could go and tell her boss after the call. Very different to I'm speaking to a founder of a brand. Very different to speaking to an ambitious creator who's just trying to win and trying to find the right people to work with. So the mentality changes in your approach. Another thing I probably should have said as well, that you need to have 5 different personalities. So I'm like Shan, the corporate guy, if I'm pitching one of those brands. I'm Shan, the bro, if I'm pitching a bro. I'm Shan, the understanding, relaxed, quiet, like way more diligent, like, calm. I designed a massive creator with multi-million YouTube. She does yoga. The whole call, like, I was super like chill, relaxed, like had to like ease my way into the conversation. Don't ask too many questions too fast, because I know I'm going to overwhelm her. So after seeing her content and stuff, I could tell that I'm going to have to like change my approach here. So you have to have like 5-6 personalities, like literally. Otherwise, you'll never be able to sell really well, because you understand that I need to become the person this person is going to buy from. I'll say that again. You need to become the person and show up on the call that person will buy from, because you're consciously thinking about it. Because ultimately, even me, right? People might see me as big, bad, evil CEO of a big $100 million business. Someone might get intimidated. Someone might get overwhelmed if I start saying, what's your net profit margin? What's this? And they might be like, yo, like, you're asking me too many questions. I don't know this shit. Like, I'm just the guy who does the sales call, right? So you need to be methodical about that stuff. And that is what you're thinking about, right? Anyway, we want to check out this stuff. And then what you want to do is some other stuff. Like I said, you can use SimilarWeb, check out their landing page traffic, trying to see how well is this business really doing. For me, I can see it very easily. Look, last night I pitched someone that already has a fitness app. They're a massive company. I went on to sensortower.com and you can basically see their sales. So I went in the thing knowing they're already doing $1 million $20 a month. So everything I'm saying, I have to change my approach because they're already quite successful, but they're still looking, there's still things I can fix in their business, right? So you need to see why they're lame, right? They have zero. Like, sometimes we have creators book calls with us. I have business owners book calls with us. And I'm like, they don't even have a website. Like the guy's domain is literally not working. He's like, oh my days, what type of agency is this? That even the email is not working. Like they don't even have a website, right? I go to a guy on LinkedIn, he has nothing. It's like, clearly this is not the best lead, or my approach on the sales call is going to have to be very different because they are just clearly not doing anything. Anyway, other little tricks are go and check the pixel, go and check are they running any ads. You want to get basically an understanding of what does good look like, right? Because your whole goal is to figure out, is this company I'm about to pitch, have this call with, like how good are they? So you need to know the level you're coming in at. Because if they don't have a pixel, they don't have this and that, it just means they're just not that good, right? Or are they? Ultimately, when you enter the call, you want to know who they are, what they sell, what the current level is, very important. Leaks in their funnel or whatever problem you solve for people, you want to try to figure out, can I solve it? You need to know that, because everyone says to me, Shani, but how do I know their problem? I haven't spoken to them. How do I know? How do I do hot outreach? I don't know. How can I say to someone, I can help you with this? Shan, how can I consult people? I don't know what they're doing. Research. And yes, I'll even say this. So let's say you can't find anything. You're having this call. They have no website. They have no pixel. They have no nothing. They have no social media. It's the worst client in the world. How do you prepare for that? You can still assume the problems such person is going through, right? Like me making this video now, I can just assume, because I know people most likely don't prepare in the way I'm telling you to prepare going into a sales call, right? I just know that because I've been in that position myself. Or I can just sit and think about, if I was an early founder, I'm busy, call gets booked in my calendar, but I've got like 10 clients, you're not going to prepare for it and you're just going to turn up to it. And you're hoping I'll just ask some questions, see how it is, see how it feels, see if there's an opportunity here or not. I'm just going to do a quick discovery call, see what's up, right? So you can assume. And even then, put it into ChatGPT. I'm about to have a call and this is what I think they do. What problem do you think someone at their stage is doing today? So give me that list, right? So the point is you still will be able to ascertain something that they're doing wrong, and you need that in your back pocket because you're going to use that in the call to make them realize that you really know your stuff. Anyway, let's get back to it. Because then we want to prepare our deck, right? Why am I saying that? Because the most important thing before we get into 2 calls is the deck, right? Is your deck, is the thing that you need to present. You must present. People that present decks come across as real professionals. And people think, if this is what the guy is doing on a first call, imagine what they're like. It's the same as someone that, takes a girl to an amazing restaurant or whatever for their first date. She's thinking, I wonder what being in a relationship with this person would be like if they're like this on day one, right? It's the same thinking. You've got to impress through the way you're doing it. More importantly, even what you're saying, it's everything else that impresses somebody. So the deck's job is, right, let's get into making the deck. The deck's job is to control the conversation, show you're the expert authority, and present the plan clearly. How are we going to do that? I'm going to walk you through some framework. Slide 1, obviously, just clean, sharp logo, and you should always add the client's logo. It adds an element of personalization. 2 to 3 slides, agency overview. This is where you introduce your agency, quick snapshot of past client successes. Try to make this as relevant as possible. Even tweak the copy so it's relevant to the person you're pitching. You don't want to be doing other stuff. Then you start with them. So this is, you want to summarize anything about the client that you can say, just to it's like, okay, cool, this is who you are, what's going on, blah, blah, blah. And then we're going to get into the main part, which is the problem. You want to outline some of the issues you have found in your research. And if you haven't found much, you can say people often, in the early stages of launching a business struggle with bam, bam, bam. So either you generalize it or you have some actual thing you found because they have shit ads or something. Then you're going to go ahead and say what you do and how do you physically can help them with that. Then you want to go ahead and talk about some other people you've done stuff for, which is super relevant only. Then you want to go ahead and talk about any risks that most likely people would have. And then you want to go ahead and timeline and how does it physically come together. So what we're not doing is listing all the services we do. You only want to list the one service that you are trying to pitch this client for. You only want to add testimonials that are relevant. People send me the decks. And let's do this. Let's do something different. I'm going to put a link downstairs at the bottom here. And I want you to send me your deck and I will review it for you. Even if you don't have one, make one and send it to me. Because from what I've done in the past when I review people's decks, it's so basically you'll have every logo, every type of service, every testimonial. It's just so packed that it's not driving a story. It's not taking you from one place to another. And ultimately, it won't have the outcome. So let's move into it. The 2 calls that we're doing, as a reminder, call 1 is a consulting call. Call 2 is when the client calls. We're jumping into the consulting call now. Let's get into it. Join 2 minutes early. Make sure you set up headphones there. Start with your story. So don't jump into what we do. Most important thing is you always introduce yourself. Even the call yesterday, look, we're a big agency. I'll be like, hey, what's up? Amazing to meet everybody here. My name is Shan. I started Genflow 9 years ago when creator economy was even a thing. We were one of the earliest people starting blah, blah, blah. Since then, we've done X, Y, Z. But I'm saying it in a way because I know who I'm speaking to. So I'm tweaking my intro based on that. Obviously, when I intro myself in such videos, I'm going to talk about agency and success and look how much what we've done. But if I'm speaking to a potential client, my intro is going to change based on who I'm speaking to because I want to keep it relevant. Always start with that. You should always start with a little chit chat. I've had conversation with, 100 millionaire plus people, billionaire plus people, and it's always the same. You always start with a little bit of chit chat and then you move into, right, okay, let's get down to business. But the chit chat has to be focused, has to still be like subliminally giving them a bit of insight. Anyway, warms the call up very nicely. Then ask them the same thing. Hey, so like, tell me more about you guys. Like, when did you get started? What you guys up to? Would love to know more. So they're like, yeah, I started this business, blah, 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 blah. You're like, cool. And then you'll start to be like, oh, awesome. Then you have to frame the call. The goal of today is simple. I want you to walk you through like this and this and this, and I'll love to see what you think, whatever. And hopefully this and that. Because also with the deck, the downside is you don't want to just keep presenting, right? And at the moment, you're not presenting. So after this is when you want to go ahead and actually start like sharing your screen at that point. It's very important here. Go off script. If the conversation opens up, just close the deck and continue. Where sales calls go wrong is that people have a script/framework and they'll stick to it so badly that it ruins the sale. Then use a deck, but don't read it. The deck isn't a script, it's a tool. Share tab, not entire screen. Honestly, this is like the biggest amateur thing people do. Always share the tab only, not your screen. I always split my view. What that means is so you can still see their face, even if you're presenting screens. Small technical thing, because you need to keep an eye on their face, because if they're not engaged, you got to switch it up in real time. Talk around the slides, not through them. Pause often to invite thoughts. Do you resonate? What you think? So I was presenting the other day and I was presenting like a plan on like how we can use webinars to like scale and stuff. I was like, so what do you think then? Have you been on a webinar? And she was like, yeah, actually I went on the other day. It was actually a shit show. Apparently someone let like, they did a Zoom webinar and they left the setting on that people can write. So people were like writing on the webinar as it's happening and they didn't know how to turn it off. And she was like, it was chaos. But it was so great because I'm pitching her a webinar and I didn't know like, has she been on one? But for her to say that, I was like, oh, so then straight away I was like, oh yeah, that's not how you do it. Lena, let me walk you through how we do it. And I just stopped sharing the slide and I just went deep into a webinar that we did and why it worked. And I could tell she's like, oh, so interesting. Oh, this is how you do it. Oh, and all of a sudden I was like, okay, now this is good, right? This is what I want. I want real conversation. I want her to think I'm an expert. And now the conversation is in the place where that's happening. One of the other most biggest things in this whole game is that you actually have to be conscious to like what is going on in the conversation. You got to be good enough to read the room, right? So once like someone's attitude changes, they become relaxed, bubbly, it's different. Another call I had actually, the same one I was talking about, like a big fitness app, call started. She was very reserved, didn't really want to give us so much away, blah, blah, blah. And when I kind of find out their problem and I was like, oh, like, you could like solve it like this and this and this and this. She like sat up a bit and she was like, oh, and her attitude just changed because she realized that I could actually help her. Because naturally, every sales call, you always think, this person's trying to sell me something. They're trying to like, they're going to take advantage of me in some way. And I'm the same, right? If one of you guys, I end up on a sales call with you, I'm going to think you're the worst person in the world and you're trying to fucking scam me. It's human nature. Don't take it personal. But your job is to change that. And that is why it's hard. Same way if you walk up to any girl, naturally they'll be thinking, oh my days, what's this guy doing? Right? Like it's the natural human reaction. And your job is to fix that. What I love to do this is share value mid-call. So if you can at any point, go rogue. Get away from the slides and just show something. Jump into Ads Manager, show something. Jump into a Miro, show something. They need to feel like a little bit of realness that this is how you work. You're a detail-oriented person and you're going to give them more. So I make them feel like that as much as possible. And I guess any value in real time, right? Just trying to do that physically. And then I always end with my, I guess, newest tactic, being transparent with you, is that I'll always be like, I'll end the call with setting up another call to be like, look, why don't we sync in a week? I'm going to send you everything, have a think. I'm going to go away and do X, Y, Z, and let's sync in a week's time. And then we'll both be better informed. And it works amazingly. So basically then immediately you want to send them the key points, send the deck. I normally now even get the call booked. If not, send the link to book the call. And then during that time, post-call conversation strategy, I want to send the deck, short summary of points, a timeline, a little message, and then I want to start follow up like a closer. Follow up like a consultant, not a closer. Set inspiration, share examples, flag ideas. What I do, which works so well, I'll just send them a message being like, I saw this other company the other day and they were doing this amazing thing. I think if you did that, it will do this. And the people think, like this person is randomly thinking about me. So like subtle ways, or I love to send like, did you see this company sold? Like you could have done that. So find someone as closest to them as possible and talk about that person, because they'll be like, shit, like my competitors, the shit I need to be doing, because that makes it feel natural and real. I signed a creator recently, she's based here in Dubai. I did the same thing. So I just she DM'd me, I did the first call, and then I just sent a couple more DMs, just paying attention to her content. So when we jumped on the second call, she was already sold. She was just like, when can we start? If I'm honest, because she has sold by that point. Cool. So then we're jumping on the second call, and ultimately the second call is very different. The second call is all about winning the client. So essentially, you just want to start with a bit of summary, recap the problem, frame the solution, detail the deliverables, set the expectations. So basically now you're getting into the details. So whatever you discussed in the first call, let's say if it was you're going to help someone launch their offer, or you're going to do some ads for somebody, I would now come to the second call with a real plan and actual stuff to show. Designs, scripts, whatever. You have to assume in the second call you're already working together. So come with some tangible shit. Come with the tangible shit, it will work for you. Make it undeniable. You're offering clarity and confidence in the world with vague promises. You're not saying, hey, when we work together, we will then do this for you. It's like, no, I've already done it. Here's some ad scripts. Here's this, here's that. You come with that energy, people want to work with that because you're a winner. You're like, hey man, I'm already doing this. Let's do this. If I said to you they're a client, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Treat it as a fake onboarding call when actually still a sales call. The other massive thing that really works is detail the deliverables. Tell them what's going to happen by when, and also tell them like how we work together. This is the thing that really helps people close, because you're like, look, the truth is if you were to say yes, next week, same time, we'll have the first call and we'll get going. I'll set up Slack. I'll do this. I'll introduce you to the team. I would even have team on that call, but that's what I would do. So you immediately jump into it. And that's like one of the most important things. So what I'm going to do very quickly is I'm just going to show you a deck that I presented the other day. I've had to scrub a couple of things naturally. So ultimately I'm saying, look, starting off with background, what they've done, etc. Just so like I want to impress them that I've done enough research on you. Then I'm getting into scope is like, okay, I'm giving you a high level of what we do. And this is because I know like what they want. Ultimately, my whole pitch was they sell a coaching program, but they don't have a mobile app. So I've just come with that idea to the call. I think you should launch a mobile app, and I think we can do it very fast, and I think it's time right now is the time to do it. That certainty is the best thing. It's pure confidence. And essentially I'm saying, look, this is what kind of stuff they could have in there. Again, this is all cold. Then I go into a bit of a process, a bit of this, how it all works. Then I get into how much money I think she can make, how would it physically work, how do we do it, what would the strategy be, all the different things we do, etc., etc. The point being is you have to have a go. It could be like, look guys, we don't really look after an app. No worries. What do you tell me what the problem is then? Or we want to scale with ads. Okay, let's talk about that. And maybe it's going to fail sometimes because you've gone with the wrong thing, but it's far better than going for the kill versus having a generic call. Look, when it comes to sales, you actually don't treat it as sales. If you treat it as consulting as the first call, second call, treat it as a onboarding. First, I'm actually working with this person. People get warm to you and they start to actually want to work with you. That's the truth. Look, I said it earlier as well, click the link down below, submit your deck to me and I will review it and I'll come back to you. I think it'll be a great way to give feedback after this video, and make sure you subscribe. There's videos every single week and lots of value. So thanks so much. I'll see you in the next video.